Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Through the Scope, the podcast where we bring you the best and probably more frequently the worst of what CS news and results has to offer. With me is Thomas, aka Wage the British Kid on YouTube.
A.k.a. Cake, as you've seen in some of my other videos as well. I'm sure, no doubts. Hey,
Yes,
welcome. I'm glad to be here. Not really.
hopefully for every
I'm missing
week.
the latest episode of
I'm missing
trying to
practice with
think
the
of
team. It's
relevant
fine.
Netflix show that's on Netflix right now. Insert pun here.
To kick right off with the news, big one straight off, Astralis. Um, they're kind of just going crazy.
Yes, Glaive retiring. That's no,
Retiring,
he's not
yes.
retiring. He's not retiring. But no, in all honesty, I think this could be a prelude to him announcing his retirement either early next year or later on the next year. So at some point in 2021, I think he might retire. I mean, the guy's got what, 4 major wins under his belt.
Yeah, but he's still fairly young.
He's got more clout than anyone else could ever hope for. He doesn't need any more. He like the pussy just kind of it magnetizes towards him. He doesn't really need to win another major or anything.
Yeah, but he's 24. To be fair,
Yeah,
he's still got a
yeah.
lot to do if he
Yeah, I
wants.
mean, he can there's a go
10
into
major wins.
coaching. He can become like the next pimp, casting and get pied in the face.
Nice. Um, so apparently Glaive he had symptoms of stress and burnout for a long time, which is why
Uh,
he's on medical leave.
grow up, kid. Like this is CS. Welcome to CS. That's literally what everyone feels all the time.
I feel like Esatag would have been in, but of course his contract doesn't start until July. So they brought
Right.
in Yugi instead.
Who was S tag up before? Remind me.
Heroic.
NA, right? Yeah.
NA?
Heroic.
No, Heroic.
Oh, I could have sworn S tag was on a heroic roster before that.
Yeah, they're EU though. They're Danish.
Ah, okay.
I
Oh,
think.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, can't remember who they've got at the moment. But obviously they brought in Yugi when he became a free agent, and then Glaive stepped down,
Hmm.
and then bringing in Snappy as Zip steps down.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Snappy, I mean, he's the fragger, but he's inconsistent. Not as inconsistent as Alu, have you know, but still, he's kind of like he's like the FNX of the EU scene, you know?
No, FNX no major though.
Yeah, I mean, you're right there.
I've noted down like the score lines that Yugi's finished with in the 3 games he's played.
Okay.
So 32-36 against Heroic.
Ouch.
Against the team he came from, North, 30-19.
Ooh. Yeah, like I said, inconsistent.
Yeah, he went 17-7 on Vertigo.
Oh, well, that's not too bad.
And then against G2 where they lost 2-0, he went 24-37.
Ah, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, sure, he can go 17-7 in a pro game on Vertigo, but does he know how to smoke Protex from T-Spawn?
That is a good question.
We'll have to find that out.
I actually wrote down an extract from Zipex as well, with him stepping down.
Mhm.
Everyone around me has done a great number of things in order to avoid it, and there is nothing I would rather do than keep on playing without a break. But the time has come to take care of my health, and therefore I have given in a sick note to Astralis.
Makes perfect sense. Talking seriously now, I'm joking aside. Astralis have been on a steamroll over the last few years. They were
Yeah.
showing signs of stuttering in late 2018. When they got was it the quarterfinals? They got knocked out against Na'Vi.
Yes, I vaguely know what you're talking about.
I don't remember which champion. It was a DreamHack one, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Might be Malmo. Um, and yeah, and then they got their game together after that, and they pulled it back, and they won a few more tournaments. Uh, they obviously got in their Intel Grand Slam.
Yeah,
But yeah, the sheer amount of just hard work and dedication that those guys have put into the game over the last few couple of years, and even before then, I mean, it definitely you can see how it could have gotten to somebody, even on the pro level.
yeah. Astralis has done something completely unprecedented the past couple of years.
Mhm.
They've had so much dedication to the game, and it's really shown in the results. As
Have
far
you?
as because they're
Yeah,
saying that these,
I'm just gonna cut in here. Sorry. Like, have you seen the day in the life videos Astral's been putting up of
I
like the
saw
amount?
devices, I haven't seen the others.
Yeah, like the amount of work those guys put in to not only just the game and their practice sessions, but just staying fit all around,
Yeah,
like fit physically and mentally and everything, making sure they're getting the right sleeping patterns. Like, I mean, having such a rigorous routine down to literally scheduling your bathroom breaks for your physical fitness so that you're at your peak almost at all times, ready for any tournament. That, as human beings, there are times where we want to be spontaneous, and if you're doing that 24/7, 365 for a couple years on end, you're gonna get burnout. So,
yeah. Um, as far as like what they were saying with Esotag when they were starting the whole 6 man roster thing, they were saying they were all going to be on like equal terms.
mhm.
What are your thoughts on like having subs and like having everyone challenge for the starting roster?
Would like to see more of it across more teams. I would like to see a bigger variation of rosters. To bring out strategies or encounters in different matchups that you wouldn't normally see in just having primary roster versus primary roster with the subs always sitting on the sidelines winning a percentage of whatever prize pool that team happens to pick up. You know, having some rotation between the substitutes as you would with the map pools, it adds another dynamic where it forces teams to focus on having um, a bigger roster of more consistent players rather than a select few superstars, which I think balances out the overall meta surrounding the scene a lot more. So, for example, let's say you have Navi, right? Let's say for whatever reason, um, they ended up with their sixth and seventh being Rops and I don't know, not Chris J. Let's go with someone else. Maybe Cold Zero, good rifler.
Oh,
And so let's say, for example, you had Navi in a lineup against Astralis, and they're meeting 3 or 4 times on their ladder on the way to the semis and then the grand finals. So you'd have an encounter where you have a Navi lineup that looks something along the lines of simple, Rops, electronic, flamey, seized, simple, Rops, electronic, yeah, and then versus Dupree, Device, Yugi, Snappy, and who's the fifth on the Astralis right now? Magisk
yeah,
and Magisk, and then like that's a lineup you wouldn't normally see in a matchup like that, and it allows for a bigger variety of matches that would only otherwise happen by teams trading players altogether. By having a forced rotation of substitutions within teams, it makes the whole scene a lot more dynamic. And I think it would be a lot more entertaining to watch different lineups of players adapting their strategies in each map depending on what players they're playing against. So, for example, you could have a rule set where you make it you can't play the same standing five lineup throughout the through more than 3 matches in a row in a tournament. So let's say, for example, you have the Navi versus Astralis thing again, and you have Navi win the quarters and the semis with the same lineup, and then they go into the grand finals against Astralis. Now they got to substitute at least one of their players because of this new rule. I don't know, just hypothetically. Um, and now Astralis would have to not only counter for the potential strategy of what Navi would normally do, they'd have to think about what player they might bring into the roster for that grand final game in the substitution. They might bring in Rops, who's a really good lurker and an entry fragger, right?
Yeah.
And so they'd have to think about, okay, how are we going to adapt our strategies if Robs comes in? We've got to watch our backs more often, or if we end up going up against a roster with Cold Zero and Robs in it, and Simple's not there, where they've got a really good lurk and a really good B site anchor. So what are they gonna do then? So it forces every team to stay on its toes and to be a lot more dynamic across all facets of the game.
Yeah, a lot of people in the community have been focusing on like the negative aspect of having more people in the roster, and again, Astralis is a good example. If you look at Astralis, what was it last year with Blastralis, where they were skipping a lot of tournaments?
Oh yeah, just so that they could
This,
win the Blast series.
but this allows them to go to more tournaments whilst not putting more pressure on their players,
Absolutely, yeah.
which it can only be a good thing for Counter Strike. I don't see how that can be an issue.
Yeah, having more teams attending more tournaments means more matches to watch.
Yeah,
It's more entertainment at the end of the day. It's just as simple
but
as that.
maybe not as extreme as like having to change after 3 games of a tournament, but like if say they bring Snappy in permanently because he's just a
Mm,
stand at the moment, so then they have 8 people on the roster, and say they just change at least one player for every single tournament.
yeah,
I think that would be really interesting to watch, and then you got to have teams to adapt to that.
yeah, and there would definitely be some moments where you would get some spontaneous plays where you'd have one of the substitutes rotates in, and he has a fresh idea to try something in one of the matches that the other player who just subbed out wouldn't have thought of. There's going to be a lot more opportunities to see some kind of on the spot genius plays, I think,
Yeah, I mean
because
in
like I think that to get the good balance of being a great professional player, you have to have a balance of in-game experience of playing in your lands and doing your base camps and everything, sure, but you can learn so much by watching the rest of your teammates play a lineup against another team. Like, how
yeah
easy is it when you're watching? For example, I'll take it back to good old days of 2016. IEM, I think it was. Overpass. It was the semi-finals, Navi versus Titan back when Titan used to exist, and Navi at the time had Guardian on their roster still. Simple wasn't on that roster by that point. Um, and there was a round where I was still quite new to the scene myself. I was still learning the routes, but I even remember back then I was watching it and how easy it was to pick up on how uh, Guardian was continuously at the start of every round. He was throwing a smoke down at long on overpass, and he would sit behind the smoke for the first few times he did this. So if any enemies decided to get cocky and push it, he could easily pick them off as they came through the smoke. And then after 3 or 4 rounds of doing this, he would throw the smoke, but then he would drop back through CT spawn and go heaven instead. So the enemies are obviously wary of the fact that there's a smoke there, and Guardian could be waiting on the other side of it. And it's all about those mind games, and it's so easy to see that sort of thing from the sidelines, which is what these pro players could easily um, adapt and kind of integrate into their practice sessions by having this whole substitution rotation thing, where they can watch their teammates in real time in those lineups, and they could literally just be jotting down notes like, okay, this strat on this map didn't work, so but I've got an idea how we can change it with this one nade lineup or whatever, you know.
yeah. But like you look at the 3 names there for Astralis that they have in reserve, and say they do bring Snappy in permanently, then they have 2 people that they can have in that IGR role aside from Glaive, rather
Hmm.
than Magisk, who's done okay, but they don't look as good as they had been with an actual IGL.
Yeah.
But then Essetag and Yugi are both comfortable AWPers as well, so there's a spot for Device to take some breaks.
Hmm.
So they're quite well covered, because Essetag is really well rounded. He can do pretty much anything.
Yeah, so he can potentially sub for anybody on that roster.
Yeah. So we've talked about Strauss for a while.
Hmm.
Moving from a legendary team to legendary players, Neo and Taz, they have a new team. The two Polish
Really?
legends, yeah.
So is this a tier two team, or is it even lower than
Um,
that?
I don't know, Tier 3, Tier 2. I've heard of a couple of the players that are alongside them.
Okay.
So the team's called Honoris. And
Okay.
one of the
Interesting name
players
for a
I've
team.
heard a lot about is Stomp, who was a part of the XCOM roster before they merged with AGO.
Stomp rings a bell. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was in the lineup that left when the two merged, and then that lineup went on to join for Illumina Gaming.
Hmm.
So he's got a decent amount of experience. He's a decent player.
Okay, that
The
could
other
be
two,
interesting.
Reiko and Prison. I've heard of Prison, but I don't know a lot about him.
So, any ideas how old the other three that Neo and Taz picked up onto their roster are?
Yes, I can. In fact, Stomp is 25.
Okay.
Reiko is 20, and
All
Prison is
right.
22.
Oh, so young enough to still have the those snappy crocodile reflexes.
Yeah,
And then obviously you got the experience of Neo and Taz backing them. I'm
yeah.
assuming
Those
Taz
three
is
could learn a
IG
lot.
heading?
Um, could be. Oh, it could be Neo. Both of them are pretty
Yeah.
decent.
I'd put my money on it being Taz though, personally. I think he I reckon I'd put money on the whole reason he wanted to start a new roster like that was so that he could play the IGO role. I reckon he wanted it.
Could be.
So that could be an interesting team to watch if that's the case. Seeing Taz play an IGO role with young talent
Yeah,
at his disposal.
those three could learn a lot from Neo and Taz. It's something the Polish scene needs because it's been in shambles since the whole VP stayed too long with their lineup.
Oh, definitely. I mean, look at the Adren Cinderella story when Zeus moved over to Gambit
Yeah.
and won a friggin' major out of it.
Going back to taking leaves though, Kierby is on medical leave as well. More
Wait,
Danish.
it's all the Danes. They really take that mental health seriously, man. I gotta
Yeah.
say. Have you seen our presents?
Kirby's on mental leave, and of course they brought in Jumpy as well, who finished out the Road to Rio games.
Right.
And then they brought in Christo on loan from AGF.
Okay. Don't know who AGF are, but yep.
AGF is the esports division of a football team in Denmark.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, that's interesting.
Uh, it's also kind of interesting because North is the esports division of FC Copenhagen, which is another Danish football team.
Wow. Okay. So the Danish footballers, they really like their esports scene. It seems.
Yeah, there's another organization, I can't remember which it is, but one of the sort of higher ups in the organization is a NBA player or former NBA player as well.
Oh yeah, I remember reading about that. Yeah. I can't remember who it was either, but yeah, he actually plays CS:GO personally himself as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. But Christo, he's not done too bad with North.
All right.
Let me see if I can just quickly get some
What's
sort of
what's his
results.
what's his HLTV rating looking like?
Oh god, now you put me on the spot.
Hasn't done his homework, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh, all matches is 0.67,
Oof.
but I think that doesn't really highlight everything. He's mostly like sort of because he's just sort of come into it. It's really easy for them just to put him in that look role and just leave him by himself to do his thing.
Right, so he's basically more of a wild card information player than anything else at the moment.
Yeah, but as well, the times I've seen him when I've watched North play, he hasn't actually looked too bad, and In general, North have been losing a lot of games anyway. They
Hmm.
lost. Obviously, they beat G 2-1, but they lost 2-0 to Astralis and they lost 2-0 to Heroic as well. So,
Right.
not exactly easy to get good ratings in there.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So some potential yet to be unleashed, I suppose.
Yeah, I just looked at the North game actually, at the Astralis game even, and Gage was the highest rated at 0.85.
Bloody hell. Wow, that just shows you the dominance Astralis has, even when they've got turmoil going on internally.
Yeah. My just had a 1.67 rating.
Wow. Ouch. I would hate to be matched up against that.
Yeah. Um, Keeping it with Denmark slightly. Going back to Snappy,
Hmm.
he does actually have a full time contract with the team, but he's not going to play for the team.
Okay. So, what, he just wants to get paid and not do anything?
uh, no, there's more to it than that, but him and Smuya have signed contracts with Tiger in Mongolia.
Tiger like the biome or the animal?
Uh, I think the animal, since the logo is a tiger.
Right, okay.
But yeah, Smuya and Snappy signed contracts. However,
Wait, did you say Smuya?
yeah, Smuya.
Oh,
The two were planning to go over to Mongolia, make the team international.
okay.
However,
I don't like the idea of a Brit signing over to a region that's so close to the COVID outbreak, but you know.
however, after Tiger won Road to Rio and the Weibo Cup Asian Championship, the two that were on their way out have now been given renewed faith by management. So they're not going.
Okay.
So they've just signed two extra contracts for no reason.
Hey, okay, well that sucks for them, I guess.
I mean,
Wow.
even though they have renewed faith, surely Snappy and Smooth is still going to be an upgrade.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Smuya when he was playing for Big, correct?
Uh, at one
I
point in his
believe he was
career,
playing for
his
Big.
last team was
Uh,
with Chaos.
yeah, but he did play for Big. I think it was like last year, early 2019, and man, he was popping off.
Yeah, he
It
was
was
also doing that in NA as well.
he definitely was starting to make some pro players shake in their boots, and people were even starting to question if he could rise to the sort of Orping Crash that Simple holds.
Yeah,
I personally, I don't think he'll ever reach that kind of level. Simple's just on a different planet when it comes to Orping in CS, but Smooth is definitely nothing to be snorted at when it comes to when he's got that rifle in his hands. Maybe on the same level as say Code Zero or Device, but
yeah. The biggest name, by the way, in that lineup is Urcast.
oh, that's
He
not cool.
left Greyhound to form the team, go back to his home country.
So did he just walk out on Greyhound then? He didn't. So
Yeah, I think
did
he
they
stepped down
buy?
from the roster.
Oh, so they must have bought him out of his contract then. I wonder how much that went for.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know.
All good.
Uh, so now my dad is really pissed off because I didn't want to stop recording to go look after the dog downstairs.
I mean, did you pre-warn them that you were going to be recording?
No, but still, there's at least one other person in the house that could be in the room with the dog.
Yeah. I was. It's really annoying that, isn't it? Like whenever you want to like come away from whatever you're doing on your computer or in your room or whatever, you go downstairs and you want to spend time with your family, and they're like, "Oh, we're busy watching the show, or whatever." As soon as you turn your fucking PC on, they need you for something.
Yeah.
Why? Why it be like that?
Yeah.
Are you still recording, or are we
Yes,
gonna?
I am.
Okay, all right.
Haven't stopped for a while now. Half an hour, in fact.
Jesus.
Getting back on track. And I've in fact closed down that tab that I needed, I think.
Oof.
Wait, did I? Or is it just hiding? No, in fact I did indeed close it down. Great. Nice and quick to find though in my history. The serious topic. The match fixing scandal.
Right. Yeah, the Aussies.
The Aussies, yeah. So 5 men face charges. Investigation was launched March last year, and 6 arrests were made. According to the statement, they were interviewed and then released pending further inquiries.
Okay, and they're still keeping the names of the players and the team under wraps.
Yeah, all we know is a 27-year-old male is facing 5 charges of corrupt conduct information for betting purposes.
Damn, I mean, like the whole I buy power thing, you would have thought people would learn after that shit went down, but no.
Yeah,
It's
and
like, what,
then
they made like a few thousand out of it, and
they
then
made a
like
bit.
lifetime bans. It's like, is it
Yeah,
worth
then
it?
the other 4 are 20 years old.
Oof.
3 of them are facing 3 counts of charges, and then the other one is facing 2 counts. But they
Damn.
face up to 10 years in jail.
Yeah, that's just stupid. I mean, to be honest, this stuff happens so rarely now in esports,
Yeah.
especially since the I buy power thing. I would be surprised if these guys get away with a slap on the wrists and a couple years ban, because
Yeah. I mean, the I Buy Power
uh
thing was mostly skins, right?
yeah, it was. And but yeah, I'd be surprised if these guys get off lightly, because it happens so infrequently. I don't think that Valve and the authorities are gonna let this opportunity go to waste in order to make an example out of them.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
they were doing this with betting, so they made a lot of actual money.
right.
19,000 US dollars.
Okay. Yes, that's definitely, yeah. Okay. Jail. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. One thing we do know is that it was in the Australian MDL.
Oh, the Mountain Dew League.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. Okay, that's kind of pathetic, to be honest. Match fixing in the MDL. How desperate are these guys for cash? Did they like forget their last rent or something?
Could have done. Could have done.
Damn. Sucks to be them guys right now. I mean,
Yeah.
well, they made their bed and they got to sleep in it, but oh god damn, you'd be chewing your nails off if you got caught doing that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Moving from one type of band to another, though.
Mhm.
Ents signing Yampy.
Ooh, that's a sore topic.
Yeah.
I don't like this Yampy guy, man. I don't like him. Like people have said the similar things before about Rops, and they also said it about Monesy, and they've also said it about Simple when he was coming up. But Yampy does not look legit. Like, not just in a he's ridiculously good sort of way, just in a the way his aim works and his movement, his crosshair placement, none of it looks natural at all. If you go and watch his demos, his crosshair placement is completely wrong. If you compared what like a few of Yampy's demos to a few of, say, someone's got good crosshair placement. Let's go like Pasha biceps. always had fantastic crosshair placement. I don't know if you ever remember any of his older demos, but Pasha was his crosshair placement was like he had a magnet for every corner he was trying to clear. Yampy, it's weird. It's like he'll aim at where he thinks the guy's gonna be with the pre-aim lineup on the crosshair, and then he'll just strafe out instead of following the corner around to clear the angle. Like, yeah, you do that when you know a player's there, but he's clearing corners like this even when he's got no information on these players, and it just doesn't look right. I could be wrong. I hope I am, but
Yeah. When it comes
until
to pros, I am possibly the most skeptical person in existence to call a pro out for cheating.
yeah,
Which is the complete opposite to how I'm like with the actual community of Counter Strike.
yeah, they're literally 2/3 of the player base cheating.
But
But no,
I want to believe he's legit.
I
And
do
I want
as
to believe
well.
that it wasn't him cheating and that it was his friend on the account.
But something is scratching that itch of mine that says this guy, something's wrong. I remember when I saw Rops coming up and I was watching his stuff and people saying he was cheating because he was so good. And I mean, I, 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 I didn't really fall into that same group really. You could see he was just a good player. He had fantastic crosshair placement. His reflexes were on point, and his positioning was. I mean, his positioning and his fundamentals and the way he just works routes through bomb sites for clearing angles, which is next level. He sticks to fundamentals like oil on the opposite of what oil does with water, basically. like like gorilla glue, pretty much. He's all around a really good fundamental player. So when it comes to looking at Yampy and he's putting up similar statistics to what Rops was when he was an up and comer, and he's doesn't look like he's following the fundamentals as closely as Rops was. That's when something starts to seem a bit off.
Yeah. The thing that coincides with Yampy coming in is Sunny is moved to the IGL role.
Why is my mic? Okay, there we go. Really?
Yeah, the ex Sports player.
Huh. That's interesting. Wait, isn't Sunny like 23?
25 actually.
25. Wow, that's a bit young to be going into an IGL role. But damn, I mean, if he pulls it off.
Yeah, but I mean, I think there has been some young IGLs.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. But not really any majorly successful younger ones. So
I mean,
yeah,
how
if
old's
he,
Lecro? Isn't he like 25?
I believe he's 26. I think he's 26.
He is 26.
Yeah.
And something to mention shortly is our new IGL is 21.
Oh, wow, that's even younger. Yeah, like I said, I mean, if you can make the IGL role work for you at that young an age, you're gifted. You have talent. If you're able to have the experience to make the calls and strategies necessary at that kind of level of play, I mean, all I can do is just pat you on the back and say, "Oh, job well done. That's phenomenal."
Yeah. Before we get to that roster change, though, that we briefly mentioned,
Hmm.
the phase roster change.
I didn't even hear about this. What happened?
Olaf has stepped down,
Oh no, I do remember this. Yes, I saw his tweet. Yep.
and then Bimas, Bimas,
Okay.
not 100%
Maybe
certain on how
the
you say
B
it.
is maybe the B silent is just mass.
It's Bymas is how it's spelled.
Oh. Okay. Bimus?
It sounds too British.
I mean, what nationality is he?
He's Lithuanian.
Lithuanian. Oh, that would be like Boomass then, because it's probably Cyrillic letters or some shit.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think he's done too bad. He certainly looked decent. He's 16, by the way.
Oh my goodness. Oh god.
So
Dude,
this is really another Brokey situation.
if I got a contract to play in a tier 1 team for CSGO at the age of 16, I think I would have done a somersault and nutted midair.
Yeah, he came from the team Lithuania with the whole 1337.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, okay. Yeah, well done, lad. You went from like the slums of Detroit up to the high rises of Seattle. So yeah.
In the last month, he's got a 1.03 rating.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, there's more to see, I suppose. That and he hasn't been playing long, so he obviously hasn't had much of a chance to show off
Yeah,
his potential.
apparently his first match on HLTV was like when he was 14.
Damn. Imagine being listed on HLTV after 14 revolutions around the sun.
Yeah, he's
That's
rather young.
wow. He's definitely a prodigy of some kind then. Do you
Yeah,
think next Brax?
I think it's interesting how before FaZe were going with the main sort of nations, they had Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and then you've got Nico starting to come in with Bosnia and Herzegovina, which isn't a major CS nation, and now you've got Brokey, who's Latvian, and then
Hmm.
Bumas, who's Lithuanian. So there's definitely more diversity in the EU scene starting to come in.
All right, so we're starting to bring the Balkans in,
Yeah.
which is ironic considering there's an entire CS:GO trading card called the Balkan. About time we had some.
Moving from the Balkan region to the CIS region,
Okay.
we have another leave of absence, another break, and it's Buster taking the break this time.
Buster. Which team was this?
Virtus Pro,
Oh yes,
uh,
of course.
Avangar is the most notably.
Yeah.
They've brought in Yekindar from Pro 100, which is Zeus's org.
Yeah, no, I remember Pro 100. I've seen a couple of their matches. They also got some weird pistol strats.
Probably Zeus is doing.
Yeah, it's like lads. You imagine just being in Zeus's roster. He brings you to the bar one night. He's like, lads, listen, this is gonna sound crazy, but I've got this pistol strat. It's gonna revolutionize the meta. No Kevlar.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Yekindar, but I don't actually know much about him. I've not seen him play a lot.
Right.
Don't know if you have or anything.
No, no. It's the first I've heard that name, to be honest. So.
Okay. VP, by the way, have two coaches.
Really?
Like,
Is that allowed?
two head coaches.
Is that even allowed?
I don't know. I
Can we
don't know how they're
check the
doing that.
major rules real quick? What's the ruling under how many coaches a team's allowed to have?
I don't know if you've heard of any of them names on Pro 100, by the way. World Edit, Waylander, Nickelback, and Dimasic.
I know World Edit. Yeah.
Yeah, World Edit. He's an AWPer, right?
Yes, he is an AWPer. Oh man, his flick game. Whew. Oh, I mean, some of that shit should be on Pornhub. Oh.
I just love how there's a Russian player that's named himself Nickelback.
Yeah, that's just. I don't know whether to laugh or cry that that exists.
So Michael is no longer on Godsent.
And by the way, I think you mean Michael.
Sure, we'll go with that. Uh, so he's gone, and in comes 21-year-old Oppa Farlig.
Spelt how?
Farlig.
Farlig. That does ring a... No, I think... What roster was he at before?
Copenhagen Flames.
Yes, no, I do know him. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I've seen some of his
with
opening.
one of the few black pros, Refresh.
Ah, okay. Yeah, no, that could be an interesting lineup to watch. Is is Makalele moving to any other roster? Has he got plans to, or is he just kind of stepping down for the moment and taking a break?
Um, I don't know. It seems like he's just stepping down at the moment.
Ah, okay.
Uh,
A lot of people
Took to
taking
Twitter
breaks away
longer
from the
to
game.
express his disappointment with the situation, admitting that his skill was lacking, but cited a change of atmosphere and that he was in a chamber of constant criticism regarding a lot more than CSGO.
Oh, okay. So it sounds like he's got some personal issues going on then.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair enough. If you've got personal issues that need a lot of time and attention to take care of, and you need to step away from the game for that, you can't blame him, really, can you? Can we also just point out the fact that I'm literally a trendsetter when it comes to taking a break from CS:GO now? Like last week, I was like announced on my channel, not gonna play CS:GO as frequently as I used to on my channel anymore, guys. And then like literally a few days later, we got all of my stuff. We got Glaive. We got all these other pro players stepping down from CS:GO for a break. Man, they all know they're copying me. They know I'm the best player in the game, really.
Yeah, there's been a lot of Danes.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. I love how it's literally the one country in Europe that actually takes mental health seriously, and they're the ones that are having all the step downs.
Yeah. Keeping it with Scandinavia, and for me, the jury's still out. Um, NIP have brought in Hampus, who's the 21-year-old IGL.
Oh, well, that is risky. That is a risky move.
Uh, I wouldn't mind it so much if they dropped Twist, who, to be fair, has done well, but I think with Nork on the lineup, there's no need for Twist.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, they dropped Lecro.
Uh, okay. All right. That's a bit of a yeah, why? The only thing
Yeah,
I can think of there is internal uh issues between the players and Letcro. That's the only thing that really makes sense.
the thing is, apparently he was calling on Vertigo yesterday in a similar style to how Lecro calls Vertigo,
Right.
and they
So
got
he's
slapped by Vitality on Vertigo.
huh. So basically the Hampus new IGL is trying to maintain some sort of rhythm and rhyme by keeping things the way things were as he's just trying to fit into the role really. He's not actually playing IGL right now.
Yeah, maybe it's just because the changes come so close to Dreamhack.
Yeah, I think it could be just a mixture of nerves
But
and also just
obviously, if you're bringing
he's
in
not
an
fitting.
IGL to call like the old IGL, what's the point in changing IGLs?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The whole point of getting a new IGL in is to completely change up your strategy. It just doesn't make sense in my head. Like, think about it from a psychological standpoint, right? You've got all of these older, like mid 20 something players, right? Who've been playing with Letcro for a while. As far as I know, haven't had any issues, have good chemistry, and previously have been performing somewhat decently with like third and fourth play finishes at some of the DreamHack events, if I'm not mistaken.
Um, they have done well.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you have Letcro being pushed, and you bring in this younger 21-year-old IGL. Let's say you're one of the players in this roster, right? How are you going to feel about the fact that Letcro's been pushed out, and suddenly you're taking orders from someone who's a few years younger than you, who's basically giving the same calls as your ex teammate who you used to get on with really well. Like that can't be good.
No, as far as I'm aware, Hampus has been in IGL pretty much the entirety of his career.
Hmm.
Just trying to find the page again. There we go, I found it. So he was in before he was in Gamer Legion, he was in Red Reserve.
Yep.
Before the whole Red Reserve thing kind of blew up, or imploded rather. But he's Red Reserve were changing players a lot when they were in CS. Like Hampus, in the 170 maps he played with Rusty, Brolan, Draken, Disco Doppelin, Freddy B, Twist, and Grux. That's a lot for just 170 maps in a team.
Yeah, definitely.
And even then, there is a similar number of stand-ins that he's played with as well.
Okay.
But so Brolan, Draken, Twister in there, so he's got experience IGLing with sort of tier 1 talent.
Yeah, so he's definitely would have picked up a thing or two. But I wonder if it will be a case of he tries to kind of deduce the rest of the puzzle based on the few pieces he's been given by the more experienced players, or whether he'll take the few golden nuggets he's learnt from them and grow it into his own style. Because if it's the former, there's going to be issues, because he's going to try and fill in the rest of the puzzle when he only has a few of the pieces. Whereas if he treats the few pieces of experience he's gotten from those tier 1 players as seeds to grow into his own sort of style, then he could develop into a pretty strong IGL, for sure.
Yeah, I do have faith in Threat though to nurture him into a good IGL.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Fret has always been. He used to be. Was it Fnatic's coach? He used to be.
No, I think it was
No,
still
it was
Nip.
no, it was Nip. Yeah, of course. Sorry, I'm retarded. Yeah, no, of course it was Nip. Yeah, and I mean, just look at Nip's history in the scene when
Yeah,
Fret was their coach. Oh man, yeah. Fret definitely working hand in hand with a younger IGL talent. That's a promising career right there. As long as they hold it together and they make nice steady progress and they don't plateau early on, it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
yeah. Uh, just quickly before we move on to a couple more roster changes and then sort of past results and things.
Mhm.
Uh, the thing that we talked about briefly before starting recording, which is also rather serious, the 2-on-2 Red Bull Flick tournament.
Ah, yeah. Oh, oh boy.
Well, they looked rather good. Maybe a bit too good, the two winners.
Yeah, I mean, all right. I'm gonna do a bit of story time right now. Picture this, right? You're me, some random 21-year-old British kid living in southeast UK. You wake up one morning, you get out your jammies, you put on some clothes, you go downstairs for some brekkie, put on the kettle for a cup of tea, and you open your phone, you start scrolling through Reddit while the toast is in the toaster and the kettle's boiling. And you literally, the first thing, top of your thread is a video clip on global r/global offensive of Alu and Yampi losing to two cheaters in a Red Bull Flick tournament. What the hell? How was this not caught sooner? Why was it not until hours after this event ended that two blatantly obvious cheaters, who after 5 seconds of watching this video you could see are using an aim lock on a wall hack? What is going on? Did somebody pay these casters off to like act like nothing was going wrong? Like you've got two nobodies going against tier 1 pros. Well, Yampi's not tier 1 yet, but he's probably going to be. I just don't understand.
Yeah, they have now both been banned on Face It.
Oh, good
By the
riddance.
way, Jeze,
Yep.
level 1.
So he literally had only just made that Faceit account to...
No, it was made in 2015, and he was level 1.
Oh my god.
And then is suddenly able to beat Alu and Yampi.
Man, that's funny. Oh no. It's like... it makes you wonder if it was like an actual live match where it was actually like a defusal game mode rather than just an aim game,
Yeah.
like 5v5, and it was just one of those like the level 1 cheater, right? In a normal roster lineup, like face it level 10s, right? So all right, let's do this, right? Four face it level 10s matched up with this face it level 1 cheater, right? Versus a pro team, right? Let's say Ali and the rest of the, is it the Renegades he's on right now?
Alu
Yeah.
with
What did you
ends.
move with? Ents, right? Yeah. So let's say it's like the four face it level 10s, the level 1 cheater versus Ents, right? Even though they have that level 1 cheater, I would still put money on Ents winning that. Just because obviously if you're a level 1 in face it and you have to cheat just to like be able to hold your ground against a pro in an aim duel, because me and Viper can speak from experience how holding your own against a pro in an aim duel actually isn't that difficult, surprisingly. Amanek. um
I dodged like 3 shots for Amanek one round.
yeah, like I would, that's why I'd say I'd put money on Ents winning a best of 3 in that sort of situation, because sure, aim is a big factor when it comes to CSGO, but you can't rely on it as a cheat to win out a game. Like when you've got going up against a pro lineup like Ents, they'll just outplay you. They'll figure out where your aimbotter is playing on the map on the CT side, and then they'll just shut you down by drawing his fire with a fake and going to the other side of the map each round, and then just out dueling the other face at level 10ers, because they will do that.
Yeah.
They're pros. It's just stupid. This is why I don't understand why people will resort to cheats when, even if you have the best cheats in the world, game sense, that it's no replacement for game sense, experience, knowing your nades, and just sheer fundamentals. If you've got a good team lineup with great communication and great strategies and really good game sense, there's no amount of cheats that will beat that.
Yeah. I mean,
Unless
Yampy
you're
is
like full
cheating.
spin botting, bunny hopping, running around, sort of,
But if Yampy is cheating, he needs to pay double of the cheats he's got now.
Yeah, basically.
It's clearly not good enough.
Yeah. No, what he needs to do is he needs to ask for a refund. Your cheats didn't even let me beat a nobody in a face it flick duel.
Yeah. Last couple of roster changes. Mayun's been dropped by MIBR,
All right.
and they've brought in TRK.
Okay, I do not know who TRK is.
TRK was on the Team 1 for 4 years.
Wow. Wow, he's made his way up through the leagues. He's gone from tier 2 to tier 1 finally.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't really call MIB tier 1 right now, to be honest. More like tier 1.5.
Yeah, it's questionable as to how MIBR will do.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Fallen's on his way out.
Yeah, I mean they lost with TRK. They lost 2-0 to Furia and 2-0 to Liquid.
Hmm. Wait, they lost 2-0 to Furia?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they're tier 2.
TRK had a 0.72 in that game.
What were the rest of his teammates sort of baselining at?
Hold on. Closest to him was Foe on 0.86. And then
Well, the
Fallen
well, the
topped
rest
at 1.15.
Okay, alright. I was gonna say if TRK was like halfway up the leaderboard in terms of performance for his team, then that shows promise.
Yeah, you got
Shows
0.81 against Liquid.
That's actually pretty good. That's respectable.
Yeah, Taco was 0.83. So
Yeah, that's respectable. I mean, it's a new roster, a new lineup. You've got kinks to work out. So can definitely see why 0.81 is understandable there.
yeah.
Especially against a team as established as Liquid.
Against Chaos, where they won 2-0, he got 0.98.
Wow. Did they win that game?
Yeah, they won 2-0.
Okay.
Taco
Yeah.
had a 0.89.
Okay. Yeah. So this TRK guy seems like he is definitely the real deal based on those numbers. I mean, I'd have to watch the demos to say for sure, but based on those numbers alone, definitely sounds promising.
Yeah, but I mean, Mayan was like he had some incredible form in the teams he was in before MIBR. He just didn't really get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Last roster change. Well, in terms of actual players, we've got one more, which is a coach.
A coach roster change. Does that even count?
Uh, Maybe. But Budapest 5 have signed the former Salamanders roster.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Name the players on that roster. I think I might know a couple of them.
Bedito, Coolio, Corey, Torzi, and Flashy.
Flashy. Yeah, Flashy. I know. I remember. No, I do remember seeing the Salamanders based on those names now because
Yeah.
the Strafe app.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was
Yeah. I've heard of
playing
Corey
on.
before.
Yeah, I remember
I
seeing Flashy's name.
To be fair, I'm not 100% certain why Salamanders actually dropped their roster because
Yeah.
they weren't doing terribly. Like they came fifth to eighth in a couple of the home sweet home cups,
Okay.
but in those they're playing against teams like Complexity, Big, Sprout, Forts.
So are those still international tournaments?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. I mean,
I,
if you've got like a lineup that's finishing 8th to ninth against teams like Complexity and Big, that's definitely nothing to be sniffed at.
yeah,
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense. Why would they drop an entire roster like that? Like maybe change out one player to see if you can improve it, but when you've already got a lineup that's good enough to finish top 10, that's weird. Unless they found like another
the Hungarian
entire
is fine.
like
That's the best they're
group.
gonna get anyway.
Yeah. I mean, unless they've seen like another team they're just gonna buy over and do
Yeah,
like a mass contract deal. I don't know. Maybe they're just gonna start from scratch. Who knows?
yeah, maybe. So the two coaches that have
Hmm.
moved. One is Zeus, going to
Right.
EG.
This is Zeus, the one that's spelt with a W, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other is I'm a Pet, who was the EG coach. He's now at 100 Thieves.
Oh, that's big. Yeah, especially with the young talent on the 100 Thieves side right now. Having a
Yeah,
coach like that behind them, that's quarter finalist potential for the Rio Major right there. If they work hard over the next few months.
yeah. I'm a Pet actually said, because he had an interview with HLTV about joining 100 Thieves, and one of the things he
Hmm.
said was he was ready to sign for a Valorant team when the 100 Thieves offer came in.
Really?
That's how much he wanted to keep coaching and was struggling to find options.
Wow.
So they actually touched upon the Valorant side of things as well in the interview,
Okay.
and let's see if I can find it. There was because there's been a lot of people that have moved over from the NA scene to Valorant.
Braxton.
Brax being the main one.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm just gonna search for the name because it should come up. Anyway, so you've
Swag.
got IGLs
Swag.
like
What's your name?
FNS, Freakazoid, then you've got Wardell, Sabrosa, Infinite, Yay. They've all gone to
Sub
Valorant.
Rosa?
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, hold on. Is Sub Rosa and Brax gonna be on the same roster?
Uh, I don't know.
If they are, I want to watch that. I want to watch any match those two are in together. I have you seen the YouTube clips when Brax and Sub Rosa are on the same team? Have you seen what happens?
I
The
haven't, if I'm
madness
honest.
that occurs. It's like it's like if you were to refine pure CS:GO funny moments and highlight vids if you were to refine it into like an essence, and then you were to use that essence to print frame by frame a new video for like the perfect CS:GO video. That's what those videos are like with Sub Rosa and Braxton. It's just moi.
So with I think Valorant's affected the NA scene the most.
Oh, definitely,
Because you've got all
definitely,
those
yeah,
names moving. So you've got, and then you had teams like Augless, Soul Patrol, Bad News Bears. They've all disbanded completely in CS.
yeah. Obviously, because Freakazoid and all of that moving over to
Yeah.
Valorant that makes sense.
So one thing he said was, I think talent wise, you're going to see other teams start popping up like Recon 5 and Triumph. They're going to start popping up more and more in the tournaments.
Do you think there's a possibility that a few um let's just say high what's the word I'm looking for here? Um, some high what's the word when it's like somebody's like really well known? Not famous. It's like the other thing. It's like
Um,
or like let's just go with heavyweight. Do you think there's like the potential for some heavyweight ex CS:GO players to potentially make their way over into the Valorant scene? Such as Shroud, Skadoo, nothing. Potentially. That is like,
um, I don't know. Maybe I think they'll definitely play the game.
oh, for sure. Oh, they already have been.
Yeah, but as to if they compete is a different question.
Shroud has been quite clear about his intention to avoid competitive gaming in the future. He wants to solely remain on streaming. So I'd be surprised if he was to go competitive in Valorant, to go pro, so to speak. Although I wouldn't put it past him to be picked up by a roster, or like to fill in a roster as a sub for like one tournament or two, just for the fun of it, you know?
Kind of like nothing
Because
good with mouse
I
bots.
feel I yeah, nothing would probably be more likely to do that, but I have a feeling Shroud secretly harbors a hunger for the protein. Like he misses it, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like deep down he misses the protein, and he wants to feel that adrenaline rush all over again of what it's like to be watched by tens of thousands of. Well, I mean, not that he isn't, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
To be watched by tens of thousands of people in a match that's got those sorts of stakes on the line, and I feel like he would be a fool to miss out on the opportunity to play as a sub in for a team in a tournament or two. I think he'll just want to get a taste of what the Valorant pro scene is like. I think the curiosity will get the better of him.
I think short term, Valorant isn't going to help the NA scene at all, but long term, it's going to help find those talents, the guys like Tens and Stewie.
Yeah, if you've got at the end of the day, if you've got more games like CS:GO out there that have similar mechanics, I say similar. There's some slight differences, sure,
Basically
but
1.6.
yeah, adapting from one to the other isn't really that difficult. Let's be honest. Um, so if you have more of these types of games, of this sort of CS:GO objective-based first-person shooter games in just the whole gaming industry as a whole, you're gonna be able to uh have a wider fan base for this type of game mode, right? Because people might like the idea of the game mode of CS:GO, but let's just say, for argument's sake, they might decide not to play it just because they hate the art style. They might, it's too graphic for me, you know.
Yeah.
And then they might look at Valorant and like, oh, it's clean, it's got that nice cartoony vibe, it's fun and vibrant. I'll play that. And then a team might see, oh, this guy's actually really good at Valorant. and they never would have seen him before if it wasn't for Valorant existing. And then they offer him a contract, and he's like, screw it, money, let's go play professional CS:GO.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's definitely gonna open more doors.
Low key, I'm like a really good Sage player.
All right, I'm looking forward to seeing the clips on your channel.
There is actually some on there. The last video I put out had Valorant in it.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think I did see that.
Um, but like, there was one game I was playing, and it was in the ranked mode, and so as Sage, you get assists for healing teammates and them getting kills,
All right,
and
doesn't matter.
I had 18 assists.
Oh man, I remind that. Oh, like if that was in CS:GO, you would be like, you'd be hurting inside.
Yeah, but there was one round where I had an op, and it was 1v2 situation, and I just pulled the pistol out, killed the low guy, and then used the ice wall and put it in a perfect position and just sat there and did the whole defuse without getting challenged.
Nice. That is one thing I do like about Valorant now. Actually, the fact that they've called it the operator. It
Yeah,
sounds like the op, so it forces everybody to say op, right? Op or op, right?
yeah.
That's the only way you can say it now. So it means if I was to pick up Valorant and play that, I'm not gonna have Russian kids screaming, "Drop AVP, man! Drop AVP!" Like, because they can't say AVP. It's not AVP.
What you will have instead is them shouting about you stealing your agent.
Yeah, and then them team killing you for it,
Yeah,
Rainbow
that'll be
Six
fun.
style.
Actually, one thing with Valorant before we move on to results, the Dignitas female lineup is
Oh, yep.
competing in CS and Valorant.
Really? Oh, that's a bold move.
Yeah,
Competing on two fronts. I don't know about that, man. I mean, I remember Skadoodle mentioning about back in the day when he used to play for C9 with Sean Gara's coaching, and Sean would get pissed when Skadoodle was playing a game that wasn't CS:GO because it would like fuck with his muscle memory.
yeah.
So,
I did the best I
that's
could to get Valorant to feel like CS in terms of sensitivity.
yeah, that's what you'd have to do, isn't it? You'd have to make it so that your sensitivity from Valorant to CS:GO is exactly the same.
Yeah,
Like not even
it's
like
like
roughly, it had to be
to the
exactly.
point where I have the exact same crosshair.
Yeah, yeah, that's 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 something funny as well. How Valorant had that option where you could use other
Yeah,
people's crosshairs and spectate to see people's crosshairs, and as Valve were just like, "Oh, that's a cool idea."
it's like
2 weeks
3 days
later,
later.
update. Yeah, yeah, we'll
they've
steal that idea.
they've added in a bomb explosion icon for deaths.
Yes, yeah, which also Valorant uh gave them that idea as
Yeah,
well. God, that's one thing I do like about Valorant is forcing Valve to be like, okay, yeah, maybe we should fix this.
yeah. That's it's going to be hugely positive for CS is having competition
Yeah.
because you've seen with Dota 2 how helpful it's been for Dota 2 to have
Now,
LOL.
do you want to talk about the elephant in the room?
What elephant in the room?
Source 2 for CS.
um, if it was ever going to happen, yes.
Now, here's the thing. I think it is gonna happen. I can't remember. I can't remember whose Twitter it was. I was looking at the other day. I think it was Zips. Actually, no. It was during the video on Navi's channel with Perfecto, and Perfecto said because they were talking about Valorant at the time as well, and can't remember the guys that it was. The manager was with him. They'd gone out for some food or whatever, and the manager was asking him about what he thought about the future of CS:GO and whether he was looking forward to uh, continuing playing it, and whether he thinks that the game is dying and that sort of thing. And this is when Perfecto said something along the lines of, and I quote, not exactly what he said, but something along the lines of, "I think CS:GO definitely isn't dying. It's more popular than ever, especially given the circumstances we live in, as everybody is aware of now.
Yeah.
And it will definitely continue to grow even more with future updates, especially with the likes of Source 2 being added. Like, he said it as though he was sure it was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's more. There's some of the maps are now on Source 2.
Yeah, exactly. I just, it makes sense for Valve to especially since we're coming up to, we've just had the 20-year anniversary as well, haven't we, for CS?
God, really?
Yeah, because it was 99, I think, wasn't it? When the original Counter-Strike Source came out.
I don't know if that's the case. CS is as old as me.
Anyway, yeah, I think with it being as old as it is, I think it's definitely a good time to update to Source 2, especially when you've got Valorant, a competitor in the market.
Yeah, I think it would have
Being released.
been really good to, if the whole global situation hadn't have happened, to have the ESL One Rio Major and then bring
Update to
in
Source 2 after
Source
that.
2.
Yeah. What? Yeah, like it, because I really want to see an engine update, and if they do one, I think it would be Source 2. Well, and I think they will do a Source 2 update. But if it was me at the helm of Valve, personally, I would just jerry-rig the whole thing to copy the physics engine and move it all into Unreal Engine 5. I mean, imagine how good that game would look in Unreal.
What engine does Valorant use?
They use their own custom one, I think. They use Unity's physics system, but uh, they use their own custom one in terms of graphics and textures. Can't
But
remember. It's on Google.
there's another elephant in the room.
What's that?
The results from the CIS Road to Rio.
Oh no, they do use Unreal Engine as well. Valorant does.
Yeah, the CIS Road to Rio.
Yeah.
Navi.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's exactly. Yeah. Same video. That's what. When Perfecto was talking about the future of CS, that whole video was about Navi's little screw up in the online qualifiers. Obviously, they're not out of the runnings yet. I think their next qualifier routes, they will, make it to the major
Yeah,
as
they got
expected. They've learned their lesson.
950 RMR points.
Yeah.
Let's just see if I could quickly find the rankings. This is Europe. This is not what I wanted.
But yeah, Perfecto in that video, they touched on why they flunked that qualifier, and the main reasons behind it, according to Perfecto, was a combination of bad luck, where they just underestimated their opponents because of that whole underdog phenomenon, with that mindset of we're better than them, we can just steamroll this game, and then getting cocky, and also the fact that they hadn't been able to base camp and practice on land as much as they usually do, which meant that the communication wasn't quite as good as it should be, and the fact that the match was online as well. All of those factors combined aggregated into just them up and flunking the match because it was uh, circumstances and an environment they were unfamiliar with. It was just it's kind of silly, the majority of the CS player base plays online, but you said you've played on a LAN yourself, right, Viper, Luke?
Not in CS, but I have played on LAN. Yeah.
Yeah, and would you say there's a massive difference in the way the game feels playing from LAN to playing online?
Yeah, there is.
Exactly. So if you imagine like a pro team with how sensitive their reaction times and reflexes are, and the way their their internal ticking sort of works with the game, because like everybody kind of has an internal clock with how they work out the game. Everyone has that internal clock counting, like how long is it going to be before this flank comes, how long is it going to be before this guy peaks, and if that's set off by even a few milliseconds because you're playing online instead of on LAN, it's going to put you at a disadvantage, especially at the pro level. So it can be attributed to that. Like if Na'Vi had just prepared for the fact that they were going to be in unfamiliar territory, and they had been a bit more on their toes and played a bit more cautiously, they would have won it by a long shot. But they just played it like it was any other match. Like they were just playing matchmaking on a Sunday afternoon with the boys, crack open a cold one, and that's why they lost. They didn't take it seriously. So
Yeah, I think going into that mindset of we're better than them, we can just beat them was kind of maybe a little bit risky in some cases in the group they had, because they had Hard Legion and VP in that group.
mm-hmm.
So it's two also very strong CIS teams.
Yeah, that's true.
They also had Simon Gaming in there, so that's not exactly horrendous.
No, and I think it wouldn't be the first time Na'Vi would have lost to Hard Legion either, would it? That I think they actually lost to him a couple of times during the Dreamhack qualifiers last year, if I remember correctly. I remember on the Strafe app I was seeing Na'Vi getting matched up against Hard Legion, obviously placing my vote on Na'Vi to win it, and then losing that vote.
Yeah.
So,
Both grand final teams of CIS were from Group A though, with Spirit and Windstrike.
really?
Yeah. The other teams in Group A were Namiga, Gambit Youngsters, Forts, and Unique.
Wow.
Gambit Youngsters are actually really good.
I'm surprised at how well a academy team is performing at this sort of level of play, especially considering you've got like the Na'Vi Juniors team, which are basically off the radar most of the time just because of how bad their lineup is. But then you've got Gambit Youngsters. It's almost a meme now that the Gambit Youngsters team is better than the actual Gambit roster.
Well, they don't have a roster anymore, Gambit.
Yeah, but like I mean, like their older one with Hobbit and Dozier and Adrenaline.
I saw on one of the news article pages I had open. The current highest rated player this week is Axel in Gambit Youngsters.
Wow.
With a 1.42 rating.
Well, someone toggled. Damn, that's impressive. Yeah, I mean, they say the numbers don't tell the whole story, but I mean, in this case, a 1.42, yeah, I mean, that's dominant even if it isn't as dominant as it sounds.
Yeah. Spirit was the only team to go undefeated in the groups, by the way.
That's a surprise.
And Unique was the only team to not win a game in the groups.
All right. Well, I suppose that's how we'll have to play our pick'ems for next year then.
In Europe, not really sure what to say, to be honest. FaZe undefeated in the groups.
That's no surprise.
Then they got far in the playoffs, but they lost in the consolidation final.
Oh dear. Wait, who did they lose to?
G2.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's what went wrong there.
Yeah. I don't. They lost 2-1.
Did Kenny S remember to eat his breakfast for once? Like, what happened?
That could have been it. But
yeah,
G2. I remember this run, and it was something the casters touched upon during one of the DreamHack games. Is because they went 4-3 in the groups. They didn't do spectacular, but they did come second in the group. So they went into the upper bracket semi-final, where they lost 2-0 to Astralis. So they went into the lower bracket semi-final, beat Heretics 2-1. They then beat Vitality 2-1, and then obviously they beat FaZe 2-1, and then got slapped by Astralis again in the final 3-0.
I love how they like kind of like sort of win the match at like 2-1 against FaZe and Vitality. It's like, yeah, we beat the likes of like Guardian and Zywoo were better than these teams, and it's like Astralis like 3-0.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's ridiculous how dominant that roster is. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
I'm almost glad that that roster's
They
falling apart now
they
with
did
the
lose a
breaks the
game
way
though
they're
in the group
taking.
stages.
Sorry, what was that?
They lost a game in the group stages.
Astralis did.
Yeah.
Who to?
I believe Nip, but I'll have to double check.
Wow,
No, it's Fnatic.
Fnatic. Was it on Nuke?
Well, it was a best of 3.
Yeah, what was the first map Nuke?
First map was Train,
Okay.
which was Astralis' pick. They
Yeah,
lost
that makes sense.
16-9. Inferno, which was Fnatic's pick, they won 19-16.
Okay, overtime, yeah. Oh, they just got lucky in the overtime, I suppose.
And then, no, Astralis lost their pick, and then won Fnatic's pick.
Wait, hold on. So you're telling me Fnatic won Train?
Yeah, 16-9.
What? How?
I don't know.
I need to go and
They
watch this
got
demo.
they got a 10-5 CT side on the first half.
Oh wow, they must have really practiced their anti-strat against Astralis on Train.
And then the third map was Overpass, so Nuke didn't feature at all. Fnatic banned it as the last ban.
Oh, okay. That's what I was gonna say. If it was because the third map was Nuke, then that would make sense because as we all know, Astralis choke on Nuke. But no, that's pretty interesting. The fact that they lost a clean 2-1, with maps that are they're well within their pool.
Yeah, 16-9 is the interesting one.
Yeah,
Train.
I think I'd have to watch that whole game start to finish to really understand what went wrong there.
Yeah, but in the groups, they were actually the second highest in Group A for round difference.
God.
The highest was Nip, who also had a 6-1 scoreline.
Damn.
And then lost in the lower bracket semi-finals after losing to FaZe 2-1.
Ouch.
They lost to FaZe
That
2-1,
was-
then they lost to Vitality 2-1.
Yeah, that must have stung.
As a Nip fan, it did.
Yeah, especially after you see them beat Astralis like that in the groups. It's funny. It's funny what these brackets can throw.
Movie Star Riders didn't actually do too bad.
Huh.
They went 3-4, so they beat Contact, which is the ex crazy roster.
Oh yeah, no, I'm familiar with them.
Yes, they beat Contact, then they beat, where is Rotario hiding? They beat Godsent and Fnatic.
Huh. So basically, they beat Fnatic and Fnatic.
No, because Godsent's the EU roster now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just you remember the whole meme about Godsent is basically new Fnatic.
Yeah, I remember that. Hopping over the pond to America, Gen G won Road to Rio.
Okay. Wow, we're gonna have a lot of tier 2 teams in this major.
Yes, Gen G. Well, I mean, they're not a bad lineup, Gen G, to be fair. Bentet, Daps, Automatic, Kustra, and Som.
Okay, yeah, to be fair. I mean, you got Tim in there. Is he AWPing for them?
I'm assuming
Or-
he's AWPing.
Yeah, it must be.
Kustra's been doing a lot of rifling recently, so I'm assuming it's Tim.
And then I'm guessing Ben Tet is IGLing?
Daps.
Daps is. Okay.
But EG and MIBR didn't make it out the groups.
Oh. Yeah, that really says a lot, doesn't it? When you've
Yeah.
got teams like Genji. Well, I mean, yeah, you've got Automatic on there, but...
Yeah, Envy beat out MIBR in Group B.
Damn.
And then Cloud9 beat EG to get out the groups.
That's yeah, and Cloud9's new roster is really mixed, isn't it? It's still got Rush and
No, Russia's at Complexity.
Alright, so it's a completely new lineup now then.
So the C9 lineup is Sonic, JT, Floppy, MOTM, and OC.
Right, I think yeah, Floppy is the only one from that roster I actually know.
Yeah, Sonic and JT, they're South African.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel like Donald Trump now. Can we see your birth certificates to see your eligibility to be on an NA roster, please?
I'm not sure about JT, but I know Sonic started to rise up with the Bravado Gaming roster.
Okay.
Which then they briefly went to Denial and then ATK. But Sonic has played on Envy briefly. Before the whole Snake Nifty came to light.
Oh yeah, that's such a shame as well. Like, especially since Nifty is such a talented player. He's so fun to watch. Like, he does some really crazy, stupid shit that nobody else. I mean, who started around is just AWP with full nades, B-hop through A-apps on Inferno to get a pick, and then quick switches to a Molotov and falls back, landing the Molotov down on the ground to save himself. Like, and that was like in a live event, you know?
Yeah, that was on LAN.
Like, what the hell is he thinking? And he's such an entertaining and talented player to watch, and then he goes and pulls some shit like that, like kicking people off the roster just so he. Oh man,
the sad thing with Nifty's career is that it did him no good going. Well, it's not really going back to NA because he was playing in NA with Renegades.
Yeah.
But leaving that Renegades roster to go to Envy.
That's yeah. He's definitely taking a step backwards doing that.
Yeah, I mean the Aussies loved Nifty.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I still remember the Sydney event.
Yeah.
With the entire crowd just Nifty.
I briefly mentioned them before, but Triumph was in this tournament as well.
Really?
Yeah, they went 2 and 3.
Huh.
To be fair, one of them was a default win because Auglis disbanded and forfeited the tournament.
There's a lot of tier 2 teams kind of being sprinkled into the mix of these bigger tournaments now, which is good to see. I like the fact that the playing field seems to be leveling out a lot more now. It's made it a much more competitive scene rather than just it's the Astralis era, it's the Fnatic era, or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I think excluding Astralis, this has been the most competitive era in CS history.
Definitely, 100%. Okay, can we quickly talk about who do we think is going to be winning the Rio Major?
Oof. I think depending on the lineup they're able to field, Astralis.
I don't know. I mean, sure, it wouldn't surprise me if Astralis win it again, but my gut is telling me that this is Simple's year to win it. I mean, the form he's in right now and the roster he's got and how dominant they were on Dust 2 against Astralis in the Katowice this year.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, it feels like foreshadowing for what's to come, especially with how well Simple has matured as a player and how well the team integrates now. Perfecto even admitted that, like, right before the Katowice event, he didn't feel like he was quite a cog in the machine of Na'Vi. He didn't really feel like he fit in to the rest of the group. But after they won that event, he feels like he's definitely integrated into the team as like a puzzle piece now that
Yeah,
just makes the whole thing work. And
it's just
if a player who's as new to the roster as Perfecto feels like that, you can only imagine how good the rest of the players feel about their chemistry. And at the end of the day, if you've got good chemistry with your teammates, uh, and you've got just such a star-studded lineup like with Simple and Electronic, it's going to be hard not to see how Navi could miss the opportunity to grant Simple's first major victory, considering like how hard he's been working for it and how much I personally think he deserves it, especially with the turmoil going on with Astralis right now. I think the stars are aligning, pun intended, Astralis. The stars are aligning for Simple to pick up his first major trophy, and hopefully the first of many, because I want to see this guy, if possible, Intel Grand Slam. That would be that'd be quite something.
but touching on, as I said, with the Astralis turmoil, the last two majors they didn't exactly look like the dominant team going into them, and then they dominated the majors.
Yes, I mean, yeah, maybe they're just Blastralising again.
It's strat saving. That's it.
Yeah, it's like they've been working on some crazy quad man boost on Inferno.
I
It's like
reckon.
Counter
I reckon
Navi
for
on that too.
all these games, Glaive is just sat at home with a notepad watching the Twitch stream, just like, "Oh, this is a good idea. I've got this."
Yeah, he's like he's not actually taking a break. He's just gone away to like
It's
watch as
the
many
ultimate
Twitch streamers
strat
as
save.
possible to like get ultimate strats ready. We've figured it out, guys. We figured out the real reasoning behind Clave and Zipnix taking a break. Zipnix needs to go and practice his clutching. He's just gonna play deathmatch 24/7 until the major starts. And Glaive is gonna be watching live streams non-stop to get all of the strats locked in.
Zebex is literally just going to be furious at the major.
Oh man, no, I'm predicting it now. If it is the main lineup again by the time the major comes around with Zipnix and Glaive coming back into Astralis, um, it's going to be Navi Astralis in the finals. It's a best of five. It'll be, won't it?
I don't know. I think they've all been best of three the last few finals.
Yeah, but it's since it's the only major this year,
Oh, it could be.
it'd probably be a best of five, I reckon. Especially because they're combining the prize pools. So I'm reckoning it'll go to overtime map 5, right? And it'll be Astralis tournament point in second OT, Zipnix in a 1v3, 20 seconds left on the clock. He'll be T side, and it'll be on Inferno, of course, for map 5. 20 seconds left on the clock, bombs down in middle, he's in apps, and he'll still find a way to win that with 20 seconds left to take the tournament.
Just
That's my prediction.
robot aim
That's
engaged, just one
Yeah,
taps all three.
exactly. That's what's gonna happen. It's what's gonna happen. It'll be like Electronic, Flamey, and Simple. Like Simple is gonna be top banana on car with an AWP, scoped looking at the bomb down mid. Electronic will be lurking like T ramp, and then Flamey will be like top mid, like looking towards second mid and apps. While Zipnix is like trying to work his way through apps to get back to middle to try and get the bomb, to try and get a plant on A, and then like it'll end up turning into just a quick like tap tap tap, and he'll win the tournament with just a ridiculous clutch, and like Simple won't even see what hit him, and I'm gonna cry myself to sleep when that happens.
So the last two regions for Road to Rio we've got is South America and Asia. Do you know much about South America in CS?
I mean, other than MIBR being crap, no, not really.
So the team that won Road to Rio was a team called Boom.
Okay, I have
Uh, Decent lineup to be fair. Bolts, Phelps, Yell, Cello.
Oh yeah, Bolts and Phelps, obviously. Phelps being is he ex Envy player?
He's ex SK.
SK, yeah, no, you're of course, no, you're right. Yeah, no, what am I thinking? Envy. Yeah, of course it was SK.
He won Cologne 2017 with them.
Yeah, back when Fallen used to be on that roster as well.
Back when MIBI used to be on that roster.
Yeah, pretty much. That was the whole Fallen, Cold Zero, Phelps, etc. With Fur as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I believe.
Hmm.
And then you got Yellow and Cello from Luminosity.
Yep.
So it's a strong lineup, to be fair.
Hmm.
Arguably better than MIBR.
Yes, that. Yeah, I would say definitely that one.
Yeah.
I mean, if imagine Stewie 2K moves from MIBR to Boom. I'm just picturing that in my head right now as a headline on Reddit for tomorrow morning, and I that would put a smile on my face. That would be another good contender for a potential major winner if they were to put into practice over the next few months. Oh, Phelps, Stewie 2K, and Bolts. Oh man, oh, that would be something to watch.
Yeah. So the team that didn't make out of the groups. So the other two teams were Imperial and Isurus. The only
Hmm.
name I've really heard is Showtime on Imperial.
Yeah.
The team that didn't make out of the groups was Red Canids, which is or was FNX's team.
Right. Okay.
They went 0-3.
Of course. I mean, it makes sense. It was FNX's team. No FNX, no major. So of course they lost.
Well, I mean, he was playing for them,
All right.
so it was FNX's team at the time of Road to Rio. He's then since left, and one of the other players has left as well. So they're down to 3, probably going to drop to around 300th in the world before they recover.
That's a big oof right there.
Yeah. And hopping over another pond to Asia, as we
The
said
Pacific.
before, Tiger won Road to Rio in Asia, beating
Yep.
Tyloo. Who Tyloo?
Wow,
They
that's actually
have
surprising.
7 players on the roster.
So similar to Astralis in that sense.
Kind of, but they were forced to bench 2 of them because of the whole global situation.
Ah, yep, okay, yep.
So I think it was Freeman, who is from Hong Kong.
Gordon Freeman?
No, not Gordon Freeman.
At about time too.
And neither was it Zeta, the Korean.
Okay.
So they benched the 2 of them because of the whole international crisis.
Yeah, basically, don't come to our base camp, you'll infect the rest of us.
Well, I suppose more we don't want to infect you because
Mm,
they're Chinese,
right,
whereas the other 2 aren't technically.
fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense.
The other 2 semi-finalists were one was Vici, so another Chinese team.
Yep, I
Which
know Vici.
Vici's kind of fallen off. They haven't really changed their roster, but they've not done well recently.
No, yeah, I remember seeing some of their matches throughout 2019. Late 2019 that was when I wasn't at uni at the time. And most of their games, they honestly it didn't. It seemed like they weren't even trying, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like they just kept getting walked over, like it was Silver's matching up against Globals, and they were just like, let's try and go for Tase kills, lads, just to get a YouTube clip.
Kaze's a ridiculous AWP though,
Yeah.
the Malaysian. But the other semi-finalist, the team that lost to Tiger, was D13, which is another Mongolian lineup. So Mongolian CS has just sort of come out of nowhere.
Yeah, it just kind of appeared like a wild. It's literally like a Pokemon. A wild Mongolian CS scene has appeared.
It was literally Urcast left Greyhound, go back to his home country, and then all of a sudden there's just Mongolian teams popping up everywhere.
Yeah, that's. I mean, how many dicks did that guy suck? Like, jeez.
Because they weren't the only 2 Mongolian teams in that tournament. There was another team called Mizalai.
All right.
So that's 3 teams.
Hmm. Wow. Okay. So If we've got Mongolian CS picking back up, that means the next inevitable stage, should history repeat itself, is we should be having a Chinese superstar team that will be called the Great Wall.
Yes, seems logical. It's the
Yeah,
only logical step
but
next, I think.
yeah, it's the only thing that could possibly happen next.
Yeah. The team that was last in Group B, by the way. So it was Tyloo, D13, Mizalai in Group B, and then it was Camel Riders.
I love that name. It's such an innuendo. It's great.
All right. Do you want to hear the nationalities on this lineup?
One of them has to be an Arab.
All right. So you've got Assyrian,
Okay, yeah,
an
makes sense then.
Iraqi,
Yeah, all right.
two from the United Arab Emirates,
There we go. There's the Arabs.
and a Pakistani.
Oh man, and they're called the Camel. Oh no. I don't know. Like, should that org be done for racism?
But
Damn.
the two teams that didn't make it out of Group A were both Thai.
You know,
Uh,
sorry. I'm just imagining right now the cast of potential for a team name like that. Like, and here we go. We've got the Arab player here. He's carrying the rest of his team on his back like the camel he is. Oh no.
yeah, the two Thai teams. The one was Beyond. Have you heard of Olivia? He's the only name I really know from that lineup.
You just cut out a little bit there. You repeat that one?
Have you heard of Olivia?
Yeah, she's a slut. No, I don't know that team.
He's the only sort of name I know from Beyond. He played for Alpha Red before.
Oh yeah, I know Alpha Red.
Yeah, so Beyond Alpha Red and then back to Beyond. But
Wait,
then go on.
So basically he got cold feet on his first team, went to a different one, then realized how good his first position was, and then went back to it, like crawling back to it like the little baby he was, pretty much. Is that what you're saying?
Seemingly, but I don't think Alfred fields a team anymore, so I think they just dropped the roster and he went back to where he was before.
Oh, okay. So basically he wanted to onto better things, but then they were like, "No, you can't have nice things," and he just went crawling back asking for a position.
The other Thai team was Lucid Dream.
Oh, yep.
Great name.
I like that name. I also like Lucid Dreams. Those are fun.
Uh,
I don't
yeah,
get them
the
very
thing I don't like though is the name coupled with the logo of a Grim Reaper.
Ooh. Yeah, no, Lucid Nightmares would be a bit more appropriate for that one, I suppose, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but they're currently fielding two Koreans in the lineup. Jinx and Rakia, or Lakia, depending on how you want to say it.
Okay.
They were part of Gosu, which Stax was in that lineup, who was part of the last MVP roster.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot else to really say about that. Lakia is 19. Jinx,
So a pretty young lineup then.
yeah. Jinx is 24.
Okay.
They did win one of the maps. They beat Beyond, so the best Thai team has Koreans on it.
Of course it does. We all know that Koreans are the next evolution in gamers.
Yeah. Yeah. How good has Korea been with the whole global situation, by the way?
I mean, I haven't really been paying attention, but
They were at the point where they were starting to open up schools again, and
alright.
then because of like a warehouse, they had a spike of up to 73 new cases,
Yeah.
and just 2 days later shut the schools down again.
I mean, that's just smart, to be honest. Just keep everything locked until you're net zero.
Yeah.
Like it's what you got to do. If you start opening stuff back up when it's on the way back down, of course you're gonna have a second spike. It's how exponentials work.
Yeah, it's just like it's just interesting. They're like 73, and they're like, nope, shut everything down again.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would do. It's like if you got to think of it like a real time strategy game. Like imagine you've got I don't know, like you're playing like a space station builder simulator sort of thing, and you've got like a fire in a couple of your quadrants. It's like shut everything down, stop the ventilation and circulation for a little while until the fires go out, and then open it back up again. If another one starts up, you're not gonna like leave the compartments open and hope that the fire doesn't spread. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you gotta take some precautions.
So we've done with Road to Rio. Now on to the next big one, which is Dreamhack.
Yeah.
Uh, we're almost
Which
finished in
where's
Europe.
this one? Where's this one taking place?
It's another online Dreamhack Masters Spring.
Yeah. Where was it supposed to be?
Um, I'm not sure because I think two Dreamhack tournaments were cancelled, and it's kind of an amalgamation of both turned into online.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
But we're almost done with the groups. We've got two games left.
Mhm.
Currently, Nip sit bottom of Group D. So not great to see, if I'm honest. But the groups that the groups that finished is Group A with G2, Astralis, Heroic, and North, and Group B with Big, Complexity, Mad Lions, and Mousebots.
Okay.
Mousebots
Yeah.
didn't win a game.
Wait, what? Not a single one?
Big went undefeated, Complexity went 2-1, and Mad Lions went 1-2. Mousebots didn't win anything.
How?
Good question.
They had ROPS.
I mean, to be fair, they've done better on LAN than they have online.
Yeah,
That
but ROPS isn't online. He's an onliner. Like, I don't understand. Like, how do you? I mean, yeah, you can't just have one star player carry your entire team, but when you've got a half decent squad
yeah, they've got
and ROPS,
Frozen, Woxic, Chris J. Those are some good names.
yeah, Woxic and Chris J especially. I mean, Chris J won the award for like best ace of 2019, pretty much, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, man, it's just not a single game and against tier 2 teams, no less. Something's gone wrong internally there. They've done a Na'Vi, basically, is what's happened.
Yeah. I think it's great though that G2 topped Group A. They're surrounded by a sea of Danes and they've managed to come out on top.
I'm just picturing the Doom guy post like picture meme thing, like where he's like got all the demons swarming him. It's like just Danish demons.
Yeah, so they topped out against Astralis, Heroic, and Duke, all three Danish, and it's G2, the international G2.
Wow. I'm glad that the scene's changed up so much to the point where we have G2 being able to dominate Danish teams now. Like French
Yeah.
CS has kind of made a comeback. It's fun.
So FaZe, Fnatic, Vitality, and Na'Vi have finished their group games. And FaZe has won Group C. We know that already because Spirit is in second with a
Yep.
game left, but they've won one, lost one, whereas FaZe has won all three.
So FaZe are guaranteed to go through.
Yeah. The only difference it'll make is unless Fnatic beat Godsent, which they probably did. If Godsent win and they beat Fnatic, then they'd go through. But I think they lost to Fnatic already, so that's not going to happen.
Rip. This reminds me actually of there was a case in Rocket League where there was a team. They were playing in a best of 5, And they had, but in order to qualify for the next segment of the tournament, they had to win it a clean 3-0, which they're pretty much guaranteed to do anyway, because it was like they were playing against an underdog team. If they didn't win 3-0, basically, because the way the weird bracket system works, they wouldn't have enough like points difference in order to move into the next segment of the tournament, even if they won that series, right?
Yeah.
Even if it was like 3-1, it had to be 3-0. So they won the first two games, everything was going well. And then the third game was going okay as well. They were up, I think it was like 3-2 or something with 30 seconds left. And then the other team tied it up in the last 10 seconds and then won overtime. So they were down 2-1. So then what this other team decided to do was they threw the rest of the games to lose 3-2, because what it meant was like they weren't going to go to the next segment of the tournament anyway, and they were guaranteed that prize pool money that they earned getting that far in the tournament regardless. But by throwing that game, it meant that another team in the same bracket as them would also fail to get through. So they threw that match deliberately. After they lost that one game, they were like, let's just throw the rest of the series because we're not going to get any further anyway, just to fuck over this other team we have a rivalry with. And then they all got like 2-year bans from Psyonix.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like, wow, dick move. They had to forfeit their prize money as well. It's like 10,000 euros per player or something.
Nice.
Yeah, I found that
The
hilarious.
last game of Group D is going to decide who goes through and who goes home, though.
Ooh, okay. That's
It's Ents and Nip.
so you got your fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah, they're fielding Yampi, though, in this tournament. Ents.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then Nip are guaranteed to lose because we all know Yampi's cheating. That's what you could blame. That's what you could blame it on if Nip loses. You say,
Yeah.
"Oh, Yampi's cheating," to say it wasn't a real loss.
So one of the groups is done in North America as well, which is Group A.
Yep.
Furia 3-0.
Okay.
They beat Liquid, MIBR, and Chaos.
Wow. I mean, MIBR is like meh.
I'm not
Meh.
sure they've actually recovered yet from benching FNX.
Oh no. It's terrible. It's like I would hate like imagine being an org looking at picking up FNX as a player for your roster. You have to like weigh up the pros and cons. It's like, yeah, the pros are we get FNX, but the cons are we get FNX.
I mean, if you get FNX, you either go into horrendous dip of form later on, or just keep him for eternity.
Yeah.
Just get him whatever he wants in his contract. Just as long as he stays, we're fine.
It's like for FNX, it's like I want to drink in every bar in Amsterdam for free. And they're like, yeah, sure, it's in your contract. Just win us some majors.
There is actually currently a DreamHack NA game going on at the moment.
All right, who's playing?
100 Thieves EG.
Ooh, oh, I want to watch that. Oh, because yeah, 100 Thieves has just got EG's old coach as well.
Yep.
Oh, 100 Thieves almost guaranteed to win that then.
EG currently sit bottom of the group at 0-2, whereas
Yeah.
100 Thieves sit top of the group at 2-0.
I mean, 100 Thieves, they've basically got the insider knowledge right now, having
Yeah, they
EG's old coach on their side.
they won Vertigo 16-2.
So is it map 2 now?
Yeah, it's currently Overpass, which is EG's pick, and never mind, they just won it literally just now.
Oh, so EG just
16-6.
won it.
It's nuke
So
this
it's-
last map.
So it's 1-1.
Nuke last map.
Yeah, 100 Thieves will win that. All of the bigger teams choke on nuke.
Yeah, and I just accidentally closed down the NA thing. Whoops. So the other one is Cloud9 and Gen G.
Okay.
which is tomorrow. Who do you think is going to win that one?
Hmm. Good question. Uh, what did the Genji roster consist of again?
Bentet, Daps,
All right.
Automatic, Kusta, Som.
Yeah.
Wait, there's
Oh
the
yeah, they
whole
got some. Yeah, no, guaranteed Genji win that
there's the
100%. They
whole
have some.
there's the whole breakdown thing now that HLTV has for the match pages.
Yeah.
So the pros for Gen G in this match, they've won 4 of the last 5 matches. They're the bookmarker's favourite and they're ranked number 15th.
Hmm.
The pros for Cloud9, there's no cons for Gen G. Pros for Cloud9 is better form ranking, won 3 of the last 5 matches, and then the con is the rank 16th. Which isn't
Huh.
really a con, it's only 1 place difference.
I was just thinking the other day as well. Um, like every mainstream sport as well has got radio coverage, like just audio, right?
Yeah.
Like sure you've got like the caster commentary or you can put audio only on a Twitch stream. But I would love to see like a dedicated radio channel for esports.
I
Like
think
I'm
it would be very difficult to do though.
Oh, absolutely. But somebody's got to start somewhere with it. And if one person starts, it will take off indefinitely. I mean, they started airing CSGO matches on places like ESPN. So, I mean, I'd say it's only a matter of time before they start doing something like that. I just think it'd be really cool to be able to, driving in your car on your commute in the morning, listening to the latest CS:GO coverage for the latest results and things like that, and then they do a breakdown of how the matches played out. Like, I feel like that would be a lot. I'd prefer to do that to listen to and catch up with the latest results, kind of like what we're doing now, almost, as opposed
Yeah.
to watching a 20-minute YouTube video that covers like the last week of what happened in Twitch relative to CS:GO. It's
Yeah.
just sitting through watching a video that's 20 minutes long. It feels a lot more. I don't know, just you got to put a lot more attention to it. Whereas if you do like a radio coverage of it, like there might be some crazy shots or something you can only appreciate if you saw it visually. But that's when the radio presenter can say, and you can see the clip we referred to at this point on our website. Like, definitely go and check that one out because that's one you'll only believe when you see it. Whereas the rest of it you can just cover verbally.
Yeah. Do you want to hear the distribution, by the way, for the major, for the
Yeah, go on.
nations? So for the Legends stage, there's 3 EU teams and 3 NA teams, and then 2 CIS teams.
Okay, that's not too bad.
So there's challengers and contenders, which obviously both are going to be in the challenger stage. Challengers has a higher seed than contenders.
Hmm.
6 EU teams, 1 CIS team, and 1 NA team.
Ha.
And then contenders is 2 EU teams, 2 CIS teams, 1 NA, 1 South America, 1 Oceania, and 1 Asia.
That's definitely quite a broad coverage.
11 EU teams in total.
I'm assuming one of the CIS contenders is Na'Vi, considering they still technically haven't secured a spot.
Yes, they will be in CIS.
Right.
I was trying to find like the current rankings, but I couldn't actually find it. Because there's somewhere on ESL's website where it shows you how many points each team has. Wait, I might have just found it actually. Uh, Wait, no, I haven't. Never mind. But yeah, there's somewhere on ESL's website where it shows you the ranking points that each team currently has.
Right.
So it would be interesting to see where Navi is currently.
Yeah, I mean, considering they flunked a couple of games to some really underdog teams that they shouldn't have.
Yeah. I think, um, yeah, Tiger is actually close to taking the number one spot in Asia in the Pro Tour
Mm.
rankings. Alright. We've talked about the past long enough. Time for our future events. And then we can wind down. So the first time Astralis is going to play with Snappy is on Monday in the Blast Spring 2020 Showdown.
Okay, so basically it's gonna, yeah, they are blush Astralising. Makes sense.
So that's the first game with Snappy. In their group, in Group A, they have Ents, Nip, Saw, and Vitality.
Huh. Yeah, so Astralis should win that in theory.
Yeah, Saw is Portuguese, by the way.
Wow, okay.
They won the RTP Arena Cup, which was, I believe, basically just an Iberian qualifier.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that getting streamed.
There's 10 teams, so we still need one more team to qualify because we have 9 currently.
This is for Blast, yeah?
Yeah, because there's 4 teams in Group B, which is Dignitas, Fnatic, Mad Lions, and Mousebots.
Alright. Maybe put Navi in there.
No, they've already qualified for the finals.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's a qualification that needs to finish or if it's an invite.
Hmm.
And I've literally just answered it as the CIS qualifier needs to be done. The final is Forts and VP.
Ooh. Yeah, VP should probably take that one, I reckon.
They do have Yekindar though, rather than Buster. So that's there's 3 spots available for the finals, which has Navi, G2, FaZe, OG, and Complexity.
Ooh. That's gonna be a close bunch of matches there.
Yeah. In the Americas showdown, we have in Group A is Chaos, Furia, Genji, and MIBR.
Mm-hmm.
And then Group B is 100 Thieves, Cloud9, EG, and again Triumph popping up.
Huh. Wow, they really seem to be making a name for themselves.
Yeah, apparently they're now ranked number 50th in the world.
Hmm. Wow. Well, congrats on them in making it to the top 50, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny how we, as just random community members, we sort of look at top 50, pathetic. Whereas, like, if you were actually in a top 50 team for CSGO, like, you'd probably be pretty happy with yourself for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, considering,
That's
I think,
true.
like, the peak for the number of teams that's been ranked at one time is, like, 300 or something.
Right.
And then, obviously, there's a lot more teams that aren't on HLTV as well.
Yeah. I mean, you've had a couple in the past yourself, so
Yeah, I'm currently on one now.
yeah. So it's like if you, so all of those different Faceit teams sort of go on like in the back scenes. It's got to be thousands of teams out there that are all gunning for it. But
Yeah. So, there's 3 spots for the Americas finals as well.
mhm.
However, there's only one team currently qualified for the Americas finals, which is Liquid.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised to be honest.
And then Europe gets 2 spots for the global finals, and then Americas get 1 spot for the global finals, which hopefully will happen.
Hmm.
But we do have more Dreamhack tournaments as well, because we've got Asia and Oceania to play out. Asia doesn't have groups, neither does Oceania. It's just a double elimination bracket.
Okay.
So in Asia, it's Tyloo, Vici, Lucid Dream, and Beyond.
I would be quite surprised if Tyloo underperform
Again.
in that, like, after their previous blunder, they'll probably have a wake up call similar to what Na'Vi have just had, so they should perform a bit better going into this one.
Yeah, I've just seen, looking at this, that Lucid Dream have actually dropped their 2 Koreans. So I'm expecting them to finish last now that they've got rid of their good players.
Stu GK logic, they've got more Asians than us.
So Oceania, again, just the double elimination bracket. They've got Renegades, Avant, Order, and Chiefs.
Mm.
So Renegades is that ex Greyhound roster.
Huh.
Greyhound was actually an org, by the way.
Yeah.
And the guy that ran the org moved over to Renegades as the team manager.
So basically, he basically did what somebody would do if they were trying to avoid paying out tax that they were trying to avoid.
Yeah, basically.
He just changed the name and moved to headquarters.
Order,
Not
by
insinuating anything there, just...
the way, Order has Ricky and Eustillo on the team.
Okay.
I like one of the Chiefs players. He's called Soju, which, to those that don't know, Soju is to Koreans what vodka is to Russians.
I have to try this. Where can I find this soju?
Well, if my birthday plans were going on ahead, I might have been able to take you to a Korean restaurant in York where there is soju available.
Yeah, rip social gatherings.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of time to 25th of March 2020.
The Lager Lurgy.
Is that what you were gonna call your birthday?
No, we can't say the name of the current
Oh,
situation
yes, yeah, we can't
on
actually say
YouTube.
what
So the Lager Lurgy.
that's what we're calling it. The lager lurgy. I love it. Can we just call it the you might actually know if I call it that you'll probably have to censor it. No, that's too much. I'll message you my idea for what we should call it later.
Oh god. So yeah, we're pretty much done now. I should probably say actually who's facing each other in the 2 tournaments. Tyloo Beyond is the first game, along with Vici and Lucid Dream. And then Order and Avant, and then Renegades and Chiefs.
I'll tell you what, let me just message it to you now so they can catch your reaction to it on the recording at least. So, it has a slogan to go with it.
Oh no.
Here we go, there you go.
No. Oh my god.
Yeah, you'd probably have to censor that if I'd said that.
Yeah, I think that's a bit much. But speaking of Asians, that sounds like a really weird sentence. But the on that's true. But I was watching DreamHack at one point, and obviously Potter is one of the analysts.
Yeah.
Um, to some, arguably the best looking female CS player there is. But she actually has her dog trained in Korean commands.
Really?
Yeah.
So has so hold on. So she casts and she's a player as well. That's what you're saying.
She's not a player anymore. She retired from
Ah.
competitive.
So basically, she's basically female champion, is what you're saying.
Basically, yeah.
What was that squeak?
Voice crack. That's what that was. Yeah, she was on CLG Red from July 2015 to November 2018.
Oh, yep, CLG. Yeah, I remember CLG Red. They were basically the laughing stock of the CS scene for a while, weren't they? All right, what's next on the agenda?
We're pretty much done for now, I think.
Really?
Yeah. That's this week's over.
Nice. Wait, we're doing these weekly?
Yeah, weekly.
Am I getting paid?
Well, if my birthday was able to go ahead, I'd be able to pay you in drinks. Unfortunately, that's not possible anymore.
What if I give you my address and you can just like deliver it to me in the post?
Again, I think that's going to be a little bit too difficult with the whole lager lurgy situation.
A.k.a. the thing that I could say that would definitely make you censor that part of the...
Yes, there is that. I'm kind of assuming here, but I think there's another.
Okay, I'll cut a deal with you. If I attend these weekly podcasts, you have to once every couple weeks be in one of my Minecraft episodes.
Uh, we'll see how the team schedule goes, but that seems like a fair offer.
Make you an offer you can't refuse.
It does sound like a very fair offer.
I need content, damn it. I'm starving over here.
Yo, personally, I think CLG Red does currently have the best looking female CS player.
I need to verify this information.
Just gonna
For
send you the
research
link
purposes?
to
Yep, go
HLTV
ahead.
page.
Yep.
Her name's Emmy.
I mean, I'd prefer.
I believe
an
she's also
Instagram.
a descendant from Korea.
They don't have a larger version of this picture, really. Okay, open image in new tab. Does that work? Okay, that's better.
You can click on her player profile where there's more pictures.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, there's one from Copenhagen Games 2018.
I don't know, man. She kind of got that resting bitch face sort of look. I mean, you do you, but...
I mean, to be
Dude,
fair, I just think like 90% of Asian women look good, so...
if I dated if I dated her, I think every time I looked at her, I'd get PTSD from my maths lessons.
Actually, should we have a nice segment to finish off of
Nice thing.
some sort of rewind where we look at a tournament on this day many years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. We could do like a thing of like on this day many years ago, this interesting thing happened.
So I'm going to go ahead into stats, and I'm going to spam left click all the way over to should say 2014.
Yeah. Okay. 2014 sounds good. That was pre Panorama and pre
Very
New
pre-Panorama.
Inferno. So It was
What's the
pre
date
a
again?
lot of
It's
stuff.
the
It was
29th.
pre Olaf Pass.
Alright, what was happening
Damn,
on this
pre
day?
Olaf Pass.
This doesn't really give me a lot, to be honest. I clicked on the stats, I should have clicked on something else. Does
Well,
events
if you
have
just
one?
Google it, just do CSGO May 29th.
Wait, I can do the matches, can't I? I don't know what I'm doing, if I'm honest. This has gone horribly wrong.
Oh, on this day last year, the map Ruby was added to the official competitive matchmaking pool.
Oh, nice.
You remember that?
Uh, this has gone horribly. Wait, I can go onto the news page. That'll give me stuff. Alright, news. More news. Year 2013, 2014.
Oh, on this day, in 2014 as well, Twitch added a specific directory for CS:GO, so you can search for games by maps
Oh.
to watch. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
So on this day in
Oh,
2000
no,
2014,
I got the ultimate one.
go on.
It's Get Right's birthday.
Oh.
It's actually Get Right's birthday.
So on this day, like 30 years ago, Get Right was born.
Yes. There you go. We were looking for something interesting.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Get Right. There
Yeah.
we go. That's
So that's what I
I
was
mean,
going to say.
this will definitely probably be up after his birthday
Yeah, I
finishes.
think
So
it's
happy
probably gonna be
belated birthday.
I think Sunday probably.
Mm.
So on this day 2014, there was an update that came to CS which revamped Cobble and Overpass.
Oh. Isn't that when they changed the way the bathroom connect area to long sort of worked on Overpass? Like, 'cause it used to have that
Redesigned the
weird...
connector between Canal and Park, made tunnels under Bombsite 8 easier to navigate, added lights to hut near Bombsite 8.
Yeah, so it was all mainly changes around the CT area of the map. Yeah, I remember that change when that happened.
See, I started playing CS in like end of 2017.
I started playing in 2016, I think, but I was watching it well before then. I think it was 2013 is when I started watching it.
So the reason I started, because I played it like a little bit in 2015, but didn't
Yep.
really get into it at all. And it was like 10 hours spread across the entirety of 2015.
Mm.
And then when they signed that exclusive deal with Facebook for broadcasting the tournaments,
Yeah.
I was just on Facebook one day and just randomly saw either an ESL One or an IEM tournament. It was like, oh, okay, let's watch it.
Yeah, I hated that, by the way, when they were only broadcasting on Facebook.
Yeah, their numbers were so low.
Oh no, it was horrendous, and the UI was terrible.
Yeah.
Oh no, and then they did the same thing. When would it have been? It was the same year I had my appendix out. So 2017, I think. Maybe no, it was after that. It would have been. So it would have been 2018. Going to 20. Yeah, it would have been 2018. The first half of 2018, because I was working a part-time job at the time, and usually all of the matches get streamed on YouTube and stuff. And the part-time job I was working, they were happy to let us like have YouTube open on another tab to listen to music or whatever.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, what I was doing, I was watching CS:GO streams while I was working instead, not just listening to music. And yeah, and then like the DreamHack and the IEM tournaments came along, and they were going to be on Facebook only, and it was like I can't fucking watch the streams anymore because they're only on Facebook, and our bloody work internet didn't allow us to log into Facebook. It was a banned page.
Nice.
So, oh my god, it was just It was tragic. Ugh. I did find it being like screen shared to a live stream on Twitch though. The commentary was in German though, but luckily I speak German,
Yeah.
so that was fine.
It's actually a German on the team at the moment.
All right.
Yeah. His name's Ben, which is a very German name.
Do you pronounce it? Do you pronounce it Barn?
Right, I think we've waffled on about ourselves for long enough as well now.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you want to do the outro instead of the intro?
I suppose it's only fair since you did the intro. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this little experimental podcast we've done here today. Is this going up on YouTube, I assume?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget the notification bell to get more content just like this. If there's any feedback or comments you have about what we can do to improve, if my mic's too fucking loud and you hate hearing my voice, I'll tone it down next time. Let me
Well, I
know.
mean, the latter of those is fairly understandable.
Yeah. If you want us to have more people on the show, if you want us to have like more than two people talking back and forth, if you'd prefer like having a mixture of four people, and that would be more entertaining, if you think that would be better, let us know. Let us know your thoughts. Look forward to seeing where this goes. So yeah, thanks for having me on this podcast. Thank you, Luke.
You're welcome. I mean, the whole me doing this kind of hinged on you joining me for it, so...
So I guess in reality you should be the one thanking me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, with that said, I think we're gonna cut it there for today. We'll see you guys next week.
Au revoir.
Goodbye.